So as you just saw, I just unboxed my new MacBook Air. I got the new M2 MacBook. I ordered it the day it came out and it just arrived today, and I'm so excited to have this in my possession. So basically for the past 10 years I have been using this MacBook Air. Yes, it is a decade old. Every time I tell people this, they like gawk at me because I do a lot on my MacBook Air, especially like a lot of like Photoshop, Lightroom, Final Cut, like video editing, and yeah, I've operated off of this one for a decade, and y'all, I'm so excited to finally upgrade. Now, I don't want to throw this MacBook Air completely under the bus because, to be honest, like, was it sometimes a long process to like export out of Final Cut, or did I sometimes have dropped frames or freezing while editing in Final Cut? Yes, but it was still operational. Like, I think it's pretty damn impressive that I have had this MacBook for 10 years. I have traveled with it. I have thrown it around in bags. I've taken it around the city. I've done so much creative work in this computer, and it's still going. Like, I could still use this if it weren't for the fact that just that like rendering process and stuff is just getting really frustrating for me, but outside of that, like, this is still an amazing computer 10 years on. So I just want to just mention that because I'm very much someone who, for the most part, like, I try to keep my technology until I run it into the ground. So yeah, I just want to advocate for, like, you don't always have to have the newest computer in order to do creative or cool things. Like, you can do so much even with old technology. So just wanted to mention that. And I will be really sad to retire this machine because I don't know about y'all, but I get like emotionally attached to things, and so the fact that this has been like my computer for a decade, like, it's gonna take me a minute to like let this one go, and especially to let go all these beautiful stickers that I love oh so much. I literally went out and repurchased the Sailor Moon one of her eating the Gudetama toast because I love it so much. So I'll link the artist down below. But yeah, I just have so many good memories tied up in a lot of these stickers, like my first BTS concert and things like that. So bittersweet, but very, very exciting nonetheless. So my first impressions on the MacBook Air, I mean, it's really hard to give any sort of review because I'm coming from like really old tech, okay? Like, I'm not coming from the M1 MacBook Air or even like a more recent version of the Air. Like, it's very much so going to be night and day, and I'm definitely going to feel those differences in performance. It's just like editing on butter. I don't know, that's probably a weird analogy, but it's just so perfect, and I am loving just like speeding through everything and getting to like have multiple like apps opened and windows and tabs, and like not having to worry about any of that is just amazing. Such a delight. I did end up getting it in the Starlight color, which is just this really pretty like faded gold. They're describing it as like champagne gold, and I think that that's a pretty accurate color comparison, the color of champagne. I love the way it looks like in different lights. Like, it can look like almost white sometimes, so I really like that. And I really love the new like mirrored Apple logo. I just think it's really pretty. I was debating covering it with my Howl sticker, but then I was like, actually I really like the way that logo looks, so we'll just leave it for now. And yeah, my plan was to cover this a lot more in stickers. Obviously I am not afraid of a stickered MacBook, but I decided not to just for now. I would just do something a little bit more simple, but of course I had to include Wizard Howl on there along with RJ, my pal. So yeah, that is how I decorated the outside of my MacBook. And then as for the inside of my MacBook, I ended up purchasing a custom desktop set from an artist, and it's Howl's Moving Castle themed, and it's so cute. I will be sure to link them down below in case you want to check them out. But I customized my folders to have like little icons from Howl's Moving Castle from them, and then also obviously the background. I also went and downloaded this really cute screensaver. I feel like everyone has that like black clock, and I just wanted something different, so I got this one. It's supposed to look like an anime alarm clock, and I just think it's so cute. It's also free, so I will link that down below too. So here's a little close-up on my desktop. I'm absolutely in love with this art, and this is how I customize the folders. So just create and name a folder as you see fit, then click get info, and from there just select the icon that you want and drag it on over to the little folder icon, and it should automatically change. And once you're happy with that, just go ahead and drag it over to where you want it, and then click clean up, and that will make sure that everything is nicely evened out in place. Then some other apps I've added to my MacBook include, of course, Google Chrome. I use both Chrome and Safari, but I definitely prefer Chrome, but I have to have both just for testing things and stuff. And then, of course, Spotify. I cannot live without Spotify. Currently listening to the new Sabrina Carpenter album, and it is just phenomenal. But yeah, if you want, you can go ahead and add me on Spotify. I love a playlist, so you could check out my playlists. And of course, also added Final Cut. I used to be such a Premiere snob, but I don't know. I just think Final Cut is better, especially at least for like what I do. And it's been so amazing editing on my MacBook Air, this new one. It's just so much faster, such a treat to edit on. I am not over it. I'll never be over it. Then of course we have the Adobe Suite, so nothing new there. And Notion, which I love. I have a whole video on my Notion and how I track things like reading in my Notion, so if you want to check that out, be sure to watch that video, but I of course had to have Notion. So yeah, that is how I customized and set up my new MacBook Air along with my first impressions of it. And overall, I'm just really excited to have this in my possession and to see what this enables me to create in the future. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!